Did you know that some everyday habits may damage your nervous system, just like a slow poison, without you even realizing it? In this video, we'll tell you 10 daily habits that are destroying your nervous system, each backed by science and explained in simple terms. You'll learn how these habits harm different parts of your body, like your brain's memory center, your nerve coatings, and even the way your body handles stress. Most of these signs build up slowly, but the damage may become permanent if ignored, and as always, consult a healthcare professional if you notice persistent symptoms. Now, let's get started. 1. Chronic sleep deprivation. Missing out on sleep doesn't just make you feel drained. It starts breaking down your nervous system from the inside. When your brain doesn't get enough rest, the glymphatic system can't flush out harmful waste, including toxic proteins like beta-amyloid. These proteins start collecting in areas like the hippocampus, the part of your brain that handles memory and learning, making it harder for your mind to stay sharp or recall information. Lack of sleep also throws your brain's electrical balance off. It disrupts how neurons communicate with each other, causing slower reaction times, mood swings, and brain fog. Over time, this misfiring weakens your ability to process emotions and focus, putting your mental health at risk. Even worse, sleep loss triggers chronic inflammation in your brain, damaging the protective barrier around your nerves. According to the National Library of Medicine, sleep deprivation disrupts brain function on 3 levels. It reduces attention, memory, and decision-making by affecting the prefrontal cortex. Together, these effects lead to poor mood, low alertness, and mental fatigue. And that's just the beginning. Tap subscribe so you don't miss what's next. It only gets more interesting from here. 2. Excessive sugar intake. Pouring too much sugar into your daily diet doesn't just mess with our weight, it may seriously damage your nervous system. When your blood sugar spikes frequently, your body becomes less responsive to insulin. This insulin resistance doesn't just affect your metabolism, it also affects brain cells that rely on insulin to process energy. As a result, the brain's ability to communicate between neurons slows down, especially in areas like cerebral cortex and hippocampus, where learning and memory happen. Excess sugar also fuels chronic inflammation throughout the nervous system. High glucose levels increase oxidative stress, which damages the protective coating around your nerves called the myelin sheath. Once that barrier weakens, nerve signals start misfiring, leading to numbness, tingling, or even long-term nerve disorders. It may also affect your mood, leaving you feeling anxious, irritable, or mentally drained. According to the National Library of Medicine, high sugar intake may disrupt neural balance by overstimulating reward pathways and reducing dopamine over time, which may blunt pleasure responses. Before we move on, let's hear from you. Does your nervous system feel healthy? Drop a comment and join the conversation. 3. Prolonged exposure to loud noise. Blasting music in your ears or spending time in loud environments might seem normal, but it may silently harm your nervous system. When your ears are exposed to loud noise for long periods, the tiny hair cells in your inner ear get overstimulated and begin to die off. These cells don't grow back, and once they're gone, signals sent through the auditory nerve become weak or distorted, affecting how your brain processes sound. But the damage doesn't stop at hearing. Constant loud noise also activates your brain's stress response. The amygdala and hypothalamus respond by releasing more cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this keeps your nervous system in a high alert state, leading to inflammation in brain tissues and damaging the regions involved in focus and emotional control. It puts unnecessary pressure on neural circuits, increasing your risk of anxiety, sleep issues, and even memory loss. According to Science Direct, chronic exposure to environmental noise, especially from traffic, harms the nervous system and increases the risk of neuropsychiatric disorders such as stroke, dementia, cognitive decline, depression, and anxiety. 4. Vitamin B12 deficiency. A lack of vitamin B12 doesn't just leave you tired, it may seriously disrupt your nervous system over time. This essential nutrient plays a critical role in forming and maintaining the myelin sheath, the protective coating that wraps around your nerves. Without enough B12, this sheath starts to break down, causing nerve signals to misfire or slow down. That's when symptoms like tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness start showing up, especially in your hands and feet. Vitamin B12 is also vital for producing neurotransmitters and maintaining brain volume. When levels stay low for too long, your brain struggles to produce enough serotonin and dopamine, chemicals that control mood, memory, and focus. As a result, you may begin to experience confusion, mood swings, or even signs that mimic dementia. According to a research study, vitamin B12 deficiency harms the nervous system by disrupting essential biochemical reactions and triggering damaging cellular changes. It may lead to the buildup of reactive oxygen species, chronic inflammation, and loss of myelin, which is vital for nerve signal transmission. 5. Excessive screen time. Spending hours glued to screens may feel normal, but it's slowly draining your nervous system's strength. When your eyes are locked onto digital devices for too long, the constant exposure to blue light disrupts your brain's natural sleep-wake cycle by suppressing melatonin. This throws off your circadian rhythm, leading to poor sleep quality, which over time weakens neural repair, memory processing, and emotional balance. Moreover, continuous screen use bombards your visual cortex and frontal lobe with rapid moving images and notifications, causing mental fatigue and reduced attention span. Your brain becomes overstimulated yet undernourished in terms of real-world engagement and downtime. This imbalance may dull your cognitive performance and increase stress levels, especially in teens and working adults. According to ResearchGate, excessive screen time, especially in youth, negatively impacts the nervous system by disrupting brain development and impairing learning, memory, and emotional regulation. Chronic exposure to screens is linked to increased risks of attention deficit, anxiety, depression, and additional behaviors. What seems like harmless scrolling or binge watching is actually putting long-term stress on your neural circuits, shrinking attention, slowing processing speed, and gradually exhausting your nervous system's ability to stay sharp and responsive. 6. High alcohol consumption. Regular alcohol use doesn't just affect your liver, it directly damages your nervous system. Alcohol interferes with the way brain cells communicate by altering key neurotransmitters like GABA and glutamate. Over time, this disrupts balance and coordination, slows reflexes, and impairs decision-making. The cerebellum and frontal lobes are especially vulnerable, leading to poor judgment, emotional instability, and long-term cognitive decline. Furthermore, high alcohol intake reduces the absorption of B vitamins, especially B1, which is essential for healthy nerve function. This deficiency causes degeneration of peripheral nerves, leading to burning, numbness, or weakness in the limbs. In extreme cases, it may result in alcoholic neuropathy or Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which affects both movement and memory. According to a study, excessive alcohol damages the nervous system by weakening the blood-brain barrier, thinning white matter, and disrupting neural signaling. This leads to oxidative stress, demyelination, and lasting brain injury, contributing to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and ALS. 7. Ignoring physical activity. Skipping physical activity may seem harmless, but it quietly weakens your nervous system over time. Movement plays a key role in maintaining strong connections between your brain and muscles. When you stay inactive for long periods, the brain receives fewer signals from the body, leading to reduced stimulation in areas like the motor cortex and cerebellum. This causes slower coordination, poor balance, and delayed reflexes. Another major consequence is reduced production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that supports neuron growth and protects against brain aging. Without regular exercise, BDNF levels drop, making it harder for your brain to repair itself and adapt. This weakens memory, lowers focus, and increases your risk of neurodegenerative conditions. According to Science Direct, neurodegenerative diseases reduce BDNF levels, leading to memory loss, cognitive decline, and neural damage. Physical exercise boosts BDNF, enhances brain plasticity, reduces inflammation, and protects against oxidative stress, helping slow down cognitive decline and support brain health. 8. Chronic stress and cortisol overload. Living in constant stress doesn't just wear you out, it slowly damages your nervous system from deep within. When your brain senses ongoing pressure, it tells your adrenal glands to release cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. However, when cortisol remains elevated for too long, it begins to shrink the hippocampus, a part of the brain essential for memory and emotional regulation. This weakens your ability to think clearly, recall information, and manage your reactions. At the same time, high cortisol levels interfere with the balance of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are essential for mood regulation and mental stability. This imbalance increases your risk for anxiety, depression, and chronic fatigue. The nervous system stays in a hyper-alert state, leaving your brain restless, your sleep disrupted, and your nerve overstimulated. According to a study, chronic stress disrupts cortisol balance, overactivates the HPA axis, and triggers brain inflammation, contributing to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, depression, and heightened pain sensitivity. This hormonal imbalance accelerates neurodegeneration and cognitive decline. 9. Smoking and vaping. Lighting up a cigarette or hitting a vape might feel like stress relief, but it's quietly wrecking your nervous system. Nicotine, the main chemical in both, overstimulates your central nervous system by flooding your brain with dopamine. This creates a false sense of reward, but over time, it dulls your brain's natural ability to produce and regulate that feel-good chemical. As a result, your mood, focus, and emotional stability start to decline, and you become more dependent on just feeling normal. The next hidden danger lies in how smoking and vaping damage blood vessels. These chemicals constrict arteries and reduce oxygen flow to your brain and nerves. Without enough oxygen and nutrients, neurons begin to weaken or die. This disrupts signal transmission, slows reflexes, and increases the risk of neurodegenerative conditions like stroke or dementia. According to Brain Sciences, tobacco use causes serious damage to how your nervous system develops and functions. It interferes with the structure of brain cells, disrupts how neurotransmitters send signals, and weakens cognitive abilities like memory and focus. Over time, it also raises the risk of major issues like insomnia, strokes, and neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, making it far more harmful than it may appear on the surface. 10. Self-medicating with over-the-counter drugs. Popping over-the-counter pills without medical guidance might seem harmless, but it may quietly damage your nervous system over time. Many common medications like antihistamines, sleep aids, or painkillers alter neurotransmitter activity, especially acetylcholine, which is crucial for memory and muscle control. Regular use without supervision may dull these signals, leading to brain fog, poor coordination, and even cognitive decline in the long run. Another hidden risk is liver overload. Your liver works hard to break down these drugs, but when taken too often, toxic byproducts may build up in your bloodstream. These substances may cross the blood-brain barrier and trigger inflammation in brain tissues. Over time, this weakens neural connections and increases the risk of nerve pain, mood swings, and long-term brain dysfunction. According to PubMed, Clinical studies show that regularly overusing common substances like alcohol, nicotine, cannabis, and certain medications may sharply increase your risk of developing neurological disorders. These substances disrupt the brain's chemical balance, damage nerve tissues, and impair long-term cognitive function, making your nervous system more vulnerable to serious and sometimes irreversible conditions. Moving on, let's discuss 5 powerful foods that shield your nervous system. We often think about protecting our hearts or boosting immunity, but how often do we focus on nourishing our nervous system? You rely on your nerves every second for movement, thought, memory, and even emotion. That's why feeding your brain and nerves the right nutrients is essential. These 5 foods aren't just healthy, they offer targeted support to your nervous system, keeping it sharp, calm, and resilient against stress and degeneration. 1. Wild salmon. Wild salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, a structural component of brain cell membranes. These fats support the fluidity and integrity of neuronal membranes, allowing efficient signal transmission between neurons. Beyond that, DHA helps regulate inflammation in the brain. Chronic inflammation is a silent threat to nerve health and a key factor in neurodegenerative disorders. Salmon's omega-3s also promote the production of BDNF, a molecule that supports nerve growth and protects against age-related decline. Additionally, wild salmon provides vitamin D and selenium. Both nutrients play a role in neuroprotection. Vitamin D modulates nerve signaling, while selenium combats oxidative stress, a known contributor to neuron damage. 2. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds deliver a potent mix of magnesium, zinc, and antioxidants, all crucial for protecting and regulating nerve function. Magnesium acts as a natural calcium blocker at synapses, preventing excessive excitatory signaling that may damage neurons. Zinc supports neuroplasticity and is heavily concentrated in the hippocampus, a brain region tied to learning and memory. Deficiencies in zinc have been linked to cognitive dysfunction and depressive symptoms. What sets pumpkin seeds apart in their antioxidant profile? Compounds like vitamin E and carotenoids in these seeds help reduce free radical damage, preserving the structural integrity of nerve tissues. Combined with plant-based tryptophan, they may also aid in producing serotonin, a neurotransmitter essential for mood and calm neural activity. 3. Blueberries. Blueberries are one of the most researched brain foods thanks to their rich anthocyanin content. These pigments have powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, offering protection against oxidative stress, a key factor in nerve degeneration. Regular blueberry intake improves memory and slows age-related cognitive decline. Their polyphenols enhance communication between neurons by promoting synaptic signaling, particularly in areas related to learning. In animal studies, blueberry compounds have been shown to improve motor coordination and delay the onset of neurodegenerative conditions. Additionally, they support microglial activity, cells that clean up damaged nerve tissue and regulate brain immunity, making them essential for long-term brain maintenance. 4. Eggs. Egg yolks are a top dietary source of choline, a vital precursor to acetylcholine, one of the brain's most important neurotransmitters. Acetylcholine plays a critical role in memory, attention, and motor control. Choline also helps maintain the structural integrity of cell membranes, including those in neurons. Adequate intake supports proper brain development and may reduce the risk of neural tube defects during pregnancy. Eggs are also rich in B vitamins like B12, B6, and folate, which work together to lower homocysteine levels, an amino acid that, in high concentrations, may damage neurons and blood vessels supplying the brain. These vitamins are essential for the methylation process, which supports DNA repairs and neurotransmitter production, both vital for optimal nervous system function. 5. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate provides a unique neuroprotective edge through its flavonoids, especially epicatechin, which enhances blood flow to the brain and supports synaptic plasticity. This increased blood flow helps nourish nerve cells with oxygen and glucose, which are critical for maintaining cognitive performance and attention span. Flavonoids also reduce inflammation and may help buffer the brain against the effects of chronic stress. Importantly, dark chocolate promotes the release of endorphins and serotonin, supporting emotional stability and reducing anxiety. These mood-stabilizing effects may indirectly support nerve health by lowering the biological toll of chronic stress, a major disruptor of nerve integrity. Your nervous system depends on a delicate balance of rest, good nutrition, emotional calm, and healthy activity. When we neglect these, even without realizing it, we start putting silent pressure on the brain and nerves. These daily habits, if we don't keep them in check, may slowly wear down your system and affect how you think, feel, and function. But here's the good news: if you recognize these warning signs early and take the right steps, you may protect your nervous system and keep it strong for years to come. In this amazing video, we learned about all the daily habits that are destroying your nervous system. But did you know that there are many ways to protect your health? Want to find out more? Watch 12 superfoods that help get rid of belly fat fast. Or watch 7 warning signs of a silent heart attack that are always ignored. Watch one, or even better, watch both. What other daily habits are not good for our nervous system? Let us know in the comments below.